we have been trying to get Delgado to keep their program. It's the last program in the state of Louisiana that's in the technical college, the only way for an alternative path for interior designers. We have written letters. The board voted June to discontinue the program.
Their
Delgado's board.
Yeah.
It is actually, the board is the LCTCS board.
Right.
And they are in charge of all the technical colleges and all the programs. They didn't find out, we didn't find out until almost, it was June, I guess. So really,
I think it already
by the time this
happened.
board found out,
Yeah.
it was almost a fait accompli at that point. So we wrote letters to the members of the Delgado administration. We've been calling people. It seems like the only hope is that they resurrect the program at some other point in time. But we have done everything we could to keep that program.
Have you sought philanthropic support that would kind of underwrite?
Because it's a community college program, it would have to go to the community college system. They are funded by the state and by tuition, as far as I know. So there is, and I have a little report myself whenever you're ready. As far as the reason they did is they eliminated, recommended the elimination of 49 programs at Delgado, which is a lot.
That's the school.
So that's, basically 49 programs were terminated effective in May of 2017. 14 programs were revised.
And that's because budget cuts, or what's?
They said, but the recommendation, according to this, and I was going to get, I don't want to cut into you.
No, that's okay, go ahead.
Basically, they discontinued, they'd already discontinued the technical certificate in interior design, which is more the building construction program. They terminated in arts and humanities the Associate of Arts and Interior Design based upon the recommendation from the LCTCS Strategic Sustainability and Growth Plan recommendations. The specific recommendation said colleges are to continue to execute program alignments based upon the program health index with an eye toward aligning programs with workforce and market demands and eliminating loss leader programs. They also discontinued the Certificate of Technical Studies in Kitchen and Bath Design, which was based on the
NKBA.
Thank you. NKBA standards, and they totally eliminated it for the same reason. So they took out both of the remaining interior design programs and building programs that were part of that. And that was the only. There is one at BRCC, but I don't think it's this. It's something completely different. So that they did this. They also took out legal secretary, horticulture, dietetics technician, and a whole group of others. So it was based upon, they said, lack of interest is what I'm reading between the lines in the program.
I just can't believe it.
That's the only program, and let me say this, is the only program that I'm aware of in New Orleans that when we went to the legislature on all occasions, we got requests from legislative representatives of the New Orleans area if we were going to do this, to make sure we kept Delgado as one of the paths to getting to be able to take the design.
Right, Louisiana's, yeah, you're gonna talk about Louisiana's the only one that has a 2-year minimum education requirement.
Right. We saw it because of Delgado. Delgado provided us with a lot of our minority students who, some of them went on to get a 4-year. Some of them were able, with experience, to take the NCIDQ exam and complete and get licensed that fashion. We were not informed of this. I am troubled by that because we have approached Delgado in the past. Aaron was basically part of the community. I had even talked a few years ago to the chancellor there about the program, and they were active. They really liked the program. And at that time, I believe they wanted to keep it, along with a number of art programs, because of New Orleans and its artistic background. So all we can do now is go back to them and see if we can work with them. I don't think they realized that this was a path to licensing, because normally, if they look at it as a vocational technical program, they've allowed those to remain. But they took out, it was not just us, it was 49 total programs.
So at this point, the program is teaching out, is what they call it?
Teach out, yes.
Teach out, and they'll teach out through August of next year.
Right, that's the 2-year program. Anybody who was already in the program at the time this was announced has a right to complete that program and receive their Associate of Arts degree.
And what did you say, Anna, it was a lost leadership?
They refer to it as a loss leader, getting people in.
Is that in the report?
Yes, that's exactly. There are a number of grounds you can terminate a program according to LCTCS. That was one of them, and that's what they cited for both of the interior design programs and for a number of these others. In other words,
They're not making any money off of it.
yeah, and they were
Not a money
It
maker.
was, in other words, people were looking at this as bringing people into Delgado to do it, but they weren't making money off of it. And so as a result, they eliminated it. Now, I just talked to John. He is teaching over 300 students in the Introduction to Interior Design class, which I find is amazing at LSU. Because these are not people going to the program. This is, but they're
It
using.
is a general education class, so
Right.
it's, people need it for their arts credit. So not all, but we do recruit heavily from that class, people that come to LSU that maybe have not declared a major or
We want you to.
are uncertain. They take that
Very
class and we have a lot of them come into the program through that venue.
So obviously, as a loss leader at LSU, we're doing pretty good. And why it failed, and again, there was no other interior design educational program at any of the universities in New Orleans, which is just amazing to me.
I know, I can't believe that.
You know, because where our all licensees are in the New Orleans area.
That's where I started.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, that's actually what happened to me. I went to Delgado after going to UNO. I didn't get an associate's, but it did get me enough credits to then apply for that, the next session of classes.
Same here, I went there too, that's where I started.
Well, I taught there for 3 years.
Mhm. And it's been a strong supporter of licensing over the years. At this point,
Well,
you know,
Well, I think it's unfortunate, and after I went to LSU, I was asked to sit on their advisory board.
Yeah, I've been on their advisory board too.
Because then they were trying, Delgado had the policy that any profession that could become licensed, they wanted to, well, of course, they track licensees, and also they want any profession, the provost would meet with us, any professional program that had accreditation. And so at that time, I was helping them to get their first C to accreditation, then C to change, that they wouldn't accredit less than bachelor's degrees. But at that time, the administration was very much behind the program because it was one of the really popular programs. So it's really surprising to me.
yeah.
But you know, the administrators change and sometimes just the work isn't done to keep them educated.
And again, there was an interest there that, as I understood, and this was 3 or 4 years ago. And for anybody who's concerned, I did pull the actual required courses at Delgado as best I can tell. There's a current version, and they're, you know, good courses, obviously. They're
Well, they had
going
good
to
professors too.
Yeah, it was a good.
So.
It's really unfortunate. And those things happen sometime at the university level where some of the people make it, huh?
In tough time, I mean, you know.
If there's no money, they cut out what they don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, look how many programs LSU cut
Yeah.
in the last 5 years. I mean, even foreign languages, all kinds of things.
And let me say this. Yeah, well, they cut out technical studies and legal secretary. Now, to be honest with you, that position has struggled through computerization of legal assistants, so that a lot of attorneys don't use legal secretaries like they used to. So I sort of see where that is not going to have as many people involved. But I don't understand horticulture, technology. I don't understand dietetics technician either. So the basis that they used.
They're looking at a balance sheet. They're looking at dollars and cents. They don't care, they're probably not really concerned with what the course matter is or like you say, maybe they're not even educated that this is a path to licensure. They're just basically looking at a balance sheet and they're saying,
That's
okay,
right.
this program is not making money, it's gotta go.
Well, I think what we can do is retool the letter that we sent to the administration and perhaps send it to the LCTCS board.
We could actually, they have public meetings just like we do. We could ask to be on the agenda and address them.
Okay.
I think that it's important for us to address these bodies because otherwise, I mean, I don't know if they understood what the program was to start off with, and whether they've actually recruited students for that program. The fact that it's the only program in New Orleans,
In the state.
well, but it's the only interior design program at all in New Orleans. And the interest in New Orleans with the hotels and other commercial buildings is.
You know, I wonder if it would be helpful to get a hold of Peggy Esner and find out what her take is on
Actually,
this.
we've talked to Peggy, we've talked to Judy Burgess, I think
Michelle.
Michelle. And there was such a short time frame.
They didn't give us a chance.
So I think if the board agrees with this, we'll retool the letter, send it to the members of the LCTCS board, and request to be on their agenda.
Madam Chair, if you would, when y'all get the date of those board meetings so that I can attend, I would like to express my interest toward as a minority and express the concerns that things need to be done under considerations of those who utilize this program through the process by which this young lady and Ms. Hazel has benefited from it. I think that would be somewhat a purposeful meeting for my presence to show up.
As well as the New Orleans legislative delegation who were instrumental
Well,
in
I can
keeping
talk to Ms.
Delgado
Jackson
going for this
for-
program.
All right, Anna, can you look into, we'll retool the letter, and then we'll see about getting on the
Can I
agenda.
just ask, when y'all send letters like that, can y'all copy us?
Yeah.
Didn't
you copy everybody?
Yeah, okay.
Should be
Yeah,
copied.
absolutely, apologies. All right, well, we'll send this letter out and see if we can get on their agenda.
Thank you, my best is a work.
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you.